There is a battle that every human must fight, and it is not against the world, not against others, but against the self. It is the silent war within, the struggle between the part of you that wants comfort and the part that seeks greatness. And make no mistake, that war decides everything. Every dream that dies, every goal that fades, every potential left unrealized. All of it falls not because of a lack of talent, but because of a lack of discipline. Discipline is not punishment. It is the path. It is the sword that cuts through weakness, the armor that shields you from distraction, the fire that burns away laziness, fear, and doubt. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against another person, not against circumstances, and not against the world. It is against yourself. Every single day, you wake up and step into a silent war between two sides within you, the one that seeks growth, strength, and purpose, and the one that craves comfort, laziness, and escape. This battle is constant, invisible, and deeply personal. It doesn't happen on a physical battlefield. It happens in your thoughts, your habits, and your choices. The moment you open your eyes each morning, the war begins again. Inside every person, there is a part that wants to evolve and a part that resists change. One part says, "I'll do it later," and the other says, "Do it now." One part wants to stay safe, and the other wants to take risks and grow. The struggle between these two voices determines the direction of your life. Every choice you make is a weapon. Either you use it to strengthen your discipline or to surrender to weakness. The war within never stops because progress has no finish line. The moment you stop fighting, you start falling. This internal war is not easy to face because it requires honesty. It demands that you look at yourself without excuses or illusions. It's easy to blame the world for your failures, the circumstances, the people, the timing. But discipline begins when you take full responsibility. When you understand that your habits, your thoughts, and your actions are within your control, you stop pointing fingers outward and start focusing inward. The true enemy is not out there. It is the voice inside that whispers, "It's okay to quit." The strength you are searching for already lives inside you, but it's buried beneath layers of fear, doubt, and procrastination. Each time you choose discipline, you chip away at those layers. Every time you push through resistance, you silence the weaker voice. This is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about standing firm when your mind tries to pull you back into comfort. The more you fight this internal war, the stronger you become, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. It takes courage to face yourself because you cannot hide from who you truly are. The mind is clever. It will justify inaction, disguise laziness as rest, and turn fear into logic. But the warrior within you recognizes these tricks. The warrior knows that growth only happens through struggle, and that comfort is the enemy of transformation. Each moment you choose discipline over comfort, you move closer to your potential. Winning the war within is not about never feeling tired or unmotivated. It's about acting with purpose even when you feel both. It's about standing firm when doubt whispers, "You can't," and answering, "I will." The greatest victory is not over others. It's over your own hesitation, your own excuses, your own mind that constantly seeks the easy way out. The battle is endless, but so is your capacity to rise. Discipline is the real power because it is the force that turns ideas into action, dreams into reality, and potential into achievement. Talent might give you a head start, but without discipline, it fades. Motivation might get you moving, but without discipline, it dies the moment things get hard. Discipline is the quiet, unshakable power that keeps you moving when everything else tells you to stop. It doesn't depend on mood, emotion, or circumstance. It's the strength to do what must be done, even when you don't feel like it. The truth is, most people are not held back by a lack of ability. They are held back by inconsistency. They start strong, fueled by excitement, but quit when the effort becomes uncomfortable. Discipline is what separates the ones who wish from the ones who win. It is not glamorous or loud. It's built in the unseen hours, in the early mornings when the world still sleeps, in the late nights when exhaustion whispers to quit. It is forged through repetition, through countless small decisions that no one applauds, through the simple act of showing up again and again. Discipline is power because it gives you control over yourself. When you master discipline, You no longer need to wait for motivation to strike. You become your own engine. You don't wait for the perfect moment, you create it. You begin to realize that feelings are fleeting, but actions are permanent. Discipline teaches you that progress is not made in bursts of inspiration, but through consistent, deliberate effort. It turns chaos into structure and turns ordinary people into unstoppable forces. There will always be resistance. The body will ache, the mind will protest, the emotions will rebel. Discipline is what allows you to keep going through that resistance. It transforms pain into focus, boredom into patience, and failure into learning. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, even a small one, you strengthen your self-respect. That is how discipline builds inner power, through integrity. You start to trust yourself more deeply, knowing that when you say you will do something, you will follow through, no matter what. Discipline also protects you from distraction. In a world filled with noise and endless temptations, discipline acts as your anchor. It keeps your attention fixed on what truly matters. It helps you say no, not out of deprivation, but out of strength. Saying no to what weakens you is saying yes to what strengthens you. The more disciplined you become, the less control the external world has over you. You stop chasing pleasure and start pursuing purpose. Every successful person, every warrior, every leader understands this truth. Power does not come from talent alone. It comes from the consistent effort to refine it. The disciplined mind does not react, it responds. It doesn't give up at the first sign of discomfort. It adapts, adjusts, and advances. Discipline is not a moment of effort, but a way of living, a commitment to becoming stronger, sharper, and more focused every single day, regardless of how you feel or. Small battles build great warriors. The strength you admire in others, the calm under pressure, the resilience in chaos, the relentless drive toward excellence is not something they were born with. It was built slowly, piece by piece, through small victories that no one saw. True warriors are not shaped in moments of glory, they are shaped in silence. Every quiet decision, every act of self-control, every time they say no to temptation and yes to purpose, they forge their strength. Greatness is not created in the spotlight, it's born in the shadows of consistency. Discipline is not about big moments or grand gestures. It's about the small, almost invisible choices that compound over time. It's choosing to get up when you'd rather stay in bed, to focus when distractions call your name, to train when no one is watching. These small acts might seem insignificant on their own, but each one is a spark that feeds the fire of mastery. Just like a mountain is built from countless grains of sand, your strength is built from countless small efforts that no one else may ever notice. Every morning you wake up early to work toward your goal, you are fighting a small battle. Every time you refuse to quit when things get uncomfortable, you win another. These victories may feel small, but they are the foundation of greatness. They train your mind to endure, your heart to believe, and your body to act. The warrior inside you is not built by comfort, it's built by resistance. And every time you overcome that resistance, even just a little, you grow stronger. The truth is, success is not sudden. It's a slow accumulation of disciplined effort. The ones who rise above are not the ones who get lucky. They are the ones who stayed committed long after motivation disappeared. They understand that discipline doesn't shout, it whispers. It's quiet, consistent, and patient. Each time you win a small battle against your weaker self, you take one step closer to mastery. And mastery is nothing more than the repetition of small victories sustained over time. The reason many people never reach their potential is because they underestimate the power of small actions. They look for massive leaps, for instant results, for recognition. But real transformation happens quietly. You do the work in silence, and the results speak for themselves later. The small battles, the daily discipline, the quiet consistency, the unseen effort, are the roots of strength. Without them, no great victory can last. When you focus on winning small battles, you build momentum. You train your mind to push past hesitation, to act without excuse, to persist without reward. Over time, this becomes your nature. You no longer rely on willpower alone. Discipline becomes who you are. Each act of effort, no matter how small, plants the seed of greatness. And when you look back one day, you'll realize that the person you've become was not shaped by one big moment, but by thousands of small battles you refuse to lose. Freedom is one of the most misunderstood concepts in life. Most people believe that freedom means doing whatever they want, whenever they want, without restriction or control. But that kind of freedom often leads to chaos, a life ruled by impulse, distraction, and emotion. True freedom is not found in surrendering to your desires, it is found in mastering them. Self-control is not a limitation, it is liberation. It allows you to move through life with purpose, clarity, and strength rather than being tossed around by temporary emotions or fleeting temptations. When you live without discipline, you become a prisoner to your impulses. Your moods dictate your actions, your habits control your direction, and your desires pull you in every direction but forward. You might think you're free because you follow what feels good, but in reality, you're enslaved to the things you cannot control. Real freedom begins the moment you take command of your mind, when you stop reacting to everything that happens and start responding with awareness. Self-control gives you that power. It's the calm in the storm, the anchor when everything around you is unstable. Discipline creates structure, and structure is what allows freedom to exist. Think of a musician. Their art looks effortless, but that effortlessness is born from years of structured practice. The athlete's freedom to perform comes from the discipline of endless training. The mind's peace comes from the discipline of stillness and focus. Without structure, talent collapses. Without discipline, freedom becomes chaos. The paradox of life is that you must submit to discipline to experience true liberation. The moment you begin to master your impulses, you start to feel lighter. You no longer chase distractions that drain your energy. You stop giving power to every negative thought or emotion that enters your mind. You begin to choose your actions consciously instead of being driven by reaction. This kind of control is not cold or rigid. It's empowering. It gives you the ability to stay centered even when the world around you is noisy. You learn to stay grounded in your values instead of being carried away by temporary urges. Self-control also sharpens your focus. It allows you to direct your energy toward what truly matters. When you learn to say no to what weakens you, you create space to say yes to what strengthens you. This is the discipline of freedom, the ability to align your actions with your higher purpose, not your passing desires. Every time you resist a distraction, you reclaim a piece of your life. Every time you stay disciplined in moments of temptation, you reinforce your inner strength. True freedom is not the absence of rules or effort. It is the mastery of self. It is the ability to guide your thoughts, emotions, and actions toward what truly serves you. The person who controls themselves cannot be controlled by the world. They move with intention, act with precision, and live with a deep sense of peace that no external force can take away. Pain is temporary, but strength is permanent. The problem is that most people never stay in the discomfort long enough to see what it can give them. They run from pain, avoid challenge, and seek ease because it feels safe. But comfort has never built strength, and ease has never built greatness. The moments that test you, that stretch you, that hurt you, those are the moments when real growth happens. Pain is not there to destroy you, it is there to forge you. It is the resistance that shapes your will, the pressure that reveals your character, and the fire that refines your purpose. Discipline teaches you to endure pain without losing focus. It shows you that pain is not a signal to stop, but a signal to keep going. When you feel discomfort, it means you are stepping beyond your limits, expanding your capacity, and entering new territory. Pain is the body and mind's way of saying, this is where transformation begins. Every time you push through that discomfort, you build resilience. Every repetition, every challenge, every setback you endure adds another layer of strength to your foundation. Over time, you start to crave the struggle because you know what it brings: growth, clarity, and power. The reason most people never realize their potential is that they mistake temporary pain for permanent suffering. They quit when it starts to hurt, not realizing that the pain they avoid today becomes the regret they carry tomorrow. Regret is a far heavier burden than discipline will ever be. Pain fades, but the strength you build from it stays with you forever. The body heals, the heart recovers, and the mind adapts. But once you've faced pain and conquered it, you are never the same. You become unbreakable because you've learned that nothing can defeat you unless you allow it to. Pain also teaches humility. It reminds you that progress comes with sacrifice. It strips away ego and exposes your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. In pain, there is truth. It shows you exactly where you need to grow. The stronger version of yourself does not appear when things are easy. It appears when things are difficult. You can't build endurance without resistance. You can't build courage without fear. You can't build strength without struggle. The very things you wish to avoid are the same things that will set you free. When you begin to accept pain as part of the process, you stop fearing it. You start to understand that each wave of discomfort carries a lesson. Every challenge you survive gives you proof that you can endure more than you think. You stop searching for an easier path because you realize the hard path is the one that shapes you. Strength is not something you are born with. It is something you earn through repeated acts of courage in the face of pain. Every scar becomes a symbol of growth, every hardship a reminder of resilience, and every ounce of effort and investment in a version of yourself that is unshakable, disciplined, and strong beyond. Discipline is not built in isolation. It thrives in an environment where structure, purpose, and consistency align. To truly master yourself, you must create conditions that support your growth, surroundings that push you towards strength rather than pull you back into weakness. The environment you choose is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, and spiritual. It includes the people you spend time with, the habits you cultivate, and the thoughts you allow to take root in your mind. If your surroundings are filled with distraction, negativity, or complacency, even the strongest willpower will begin to fade. But if you surround yourself with challenge, order, and focus, discipline begins to grow naturally, like a flame fed by clean air. The space you live in reflects the state of your mind. When your environment is chaotic, cluttered, and full of noise, your thoughts mirror that same disorder. But when you bring structure to your surroundings, you bring structure to your thinking. Order is not about control for the sake of control. It's about creating clarity. It's about removing unnecessary friction so your energy can flow where it matters most. A clean room, a clear desk, a consistent routine. These are not small details. They are acts of alignment between your outer world and your inner discipline. Each small act of order strengthens your ability to focus and act with intention. The people around you play an even greater role. Discipline weakens in an environment of distraction and negativity, but it flourishes among those who live with purpose. When you walk with the undisciplined, you adopt their habits, inconsistency, excuses, and comfort. But when you walk with the disciplined, their energy becomes contagious. You rise to meet their standards, not because they demand it, but because their example awakens something within you. The right environment will challenge you to do more, to be more, and to expect more from yourself. Seek out people, ideas, and spaces that elevate your thinking rather than dilute it. Creating an environment of discipline also means setting boundaries. You must decide what enters your space, what you listen to, what you watch, what you consume. Every piece of information you absorb shapes your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your actions. Protect your focus like it's sacred, because it is. The mind cannot stay strong if it is constantly fed with weakness. Feed it instead with silence, reflection, and purpose. Surround yourself with reminders of who you are becoming, not who you were. Let your environment speak to your goals, not your distractions. Consistency turns this environment into a temple of strength. Discipline is not something you practice once, it's something you live within daily. Every repetition of a good habit strengthens the structure you've built. Every day that you stay aligned with your purpose adds another layer of stability to your foundation. When your environment supports discipline, it becomes easier to make the right choices, not because they are forced, but because they feel natural. The place you live, the routines you follow, the people you allow in, all of it either fuels your power or drains it. By consciously shaping these surroundings, you transform your discipline from a daily struggle into a natural way of being, a flow of purpose that strengthens every action, every thought, and